Hi, this is Rene, and I'm welcoming you back to this series of Tango lessons. If this is your first time here, please go check my YouTube channel, and you will find a lot of other lessons that are going to be very helpful in order to understand, especially if you're a beginner, especially to take care of all these details that brought us here. I know that probably there are so many talented people out there that would like to jump to this lesson if this is your first time here. However, there is the wonderful part of learning the technical secrets in order to get here. So I don't want you to miss that. Even if you know how to do this perfectly, try to remember everything from the very beginning. That is going to help you build a very, very strong core in your dancing. As usual, I want to start by thanking all of you. This week I was really very excited to receive so many feedback, so many questions that people were asking me all through the week, and they were like trying to know more things, like they didn't understand certain things, and I hope I responded to all of you with all those inquiries. And most importantly, thank you so very much for everybody that is contributing to keep these lessons alive, to keep all these activities, virtual activities that we're doing now. I know it's very, very difficult to follow everything because now everything became virtual, and at the same time that it became virtual, you can be participating in a milonga in Germany, and then 10 minutes later you are in a milonga in Buenos Aires, and then you're in a milonga in Virginia. So it's overwhelming, but thank you for doing that. The more that you support these venues, the more that we're going to keep producing for you, and we're going to be back soon. Don't forget that. I know it's hard. I know everybody needs to dance, especially us tangueros, but we just need to be a little bit stronger, a little bit more patient, and we're going to get there soon, and probably sooner than you expected, only if you keep being patient. And talking about patience, take this opportunity to connect with the tango people. I've heard and I have experienced that myself in the last few weeks. I have neighbors, and we were getting together respecting the social distancing, but these neighbors are also people that I know through tango. So it was so very refreshing to meet them and to engage in conversations that probably we would have never had in tango. And it's a pleasure to be able to be around these people, be protected around these people, because all of them are, and of course this is not just that I'm receiving from them, but I am offering also my help in case they require. And this is the moment where we could do that bonding much better than we did before. Well, with that said, I want to, today we're going to be I want to start a lesson by describing a little bit. Before, we did a molinete, a very basic molinete, that it was kind of like making us leaders go in a very kind of like tight way. Now we're going to do a molinete. This time it's not going to go on our right side. It is going to make us go on the left side, and that is going to give us a little bit more of a not so stiff position. It will give us the possibility of practice our disassociation. This exercise, it's very complex if you look at it as a whole, but if you do step by step, everything is going to be a little bit better. So let me start. This is going to be my line of dance. I'm going towards that direction. And I want you to first get a little bit comfortable with what you have to do. I'm starting as usual with the leader's role, which is it's charged with a lot of different things that you have to take care. So the lady or the follower that you are dancing with, it's going to always feel very comfortable doing this. So I'm going to take a side step, and then I'm going to make a forward step with my right foot. Up until now, I don't do anything. I'm switching my weight to my right foot, then I start leading with my torso. And then I switch my weight again. And then I have to keep going. I have to come back to this position. So I'm going to go, keep moving my torso, look at my feet. My feet are not doing anything. Up until I cannot turn anymore, I'm going to pivot my feet. I'm going to place my feet together. And then I'm going to finish 6, 7, and 8 of the basic steps. I know it feels like, whoa, that's a lot of torsion, Brene. That is like, probably you can do it because you're made of gum or something like that. We were practicing in the past 2 weeks. The disassociation has to do with your ability to move the muscles in your middle section. So if you can do this against the wall, you can do this exercise, okay? The only challenge at this moment is that you have to move your body using the muscles in your core. You cannot move your feet, you cannot move your shoulders to drag that movement. The more that you get used, you feel your core working, this is going to work a lot better for you. Now, once again, I'm going to do it just to show you what you have to do. This is my the line of dance. I'm going to take a side step, then I take a forward step, then I switch my weight slowly. You can take this very slow. Most of my weight is on my right foot, but I don't disconnect my left foot from the ground. And then I start, see, the first thing that I have to do is move my dance partner to a side step. I'm going to show you that in a second with the sticks. I move her around, and then I keep pulling with my left side. Pulling is a hard word, but what I am trying to say is that you invite her. Bam, see how like I'm pivoting, and at the same time, I'm switching my weight towards my left foot, and I keep pivoting up until I came back to the same line of dance, and then I'm going to finish with 6, 7, and 8 for now. Now let me show you the same thing with the sticks. I know that most of the ladies love this part, so this is Fred and Ginger. Fred is the blue stick, that is going to be your right foot or your right leg, and Ginger is the black one and is going to be your left leg. So once again, we're going to do this extremely slow. Side step, forward. I switch my weight. See, when I'm switching my weight, because that's the way it works, if I switch my weight, immediately the lady is going to disconnect her foot from the ground. And I'm going to control this foot, I'm going to guide it. See how like I'm placing that foot, I'm not moving my torso in a circularity, because then she would kind of like trip over my foot. I have to move kind of like drawing a straight angle. So I go here and I invite her to take that that first side step. All of a sudden, I start inviting the other leg to walk forward, and then I create a molinete. Okay, now I know that all of you probably love numbers. I don't, but we're going to count the steps of the lady. We're going to count right when she starts doing the molinete. It's a lot better to do that. So side, I don't count. Forward, for me as a leader, I don't count. But I'm going to start counting after this side step. So she does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. What does that bring me to? It brings me to 5 steps that the lady should be doing around me. Okay, right from the beginning of the molinete, she does 5 steps. Let's try to do that one more time. Trying to count these. Side step, forward, I move, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hold it up. I wait at least 2 beats, and in the third, 6, 7, and 8. Right now, because we are practicing and we're developing this exercise not just from our perspective, but also from the perspective of the follower. I want you to make sure that when we say 5, before doing the exit, the salida, I want you to hold it up a little bit. That pause that we're creating is going to help the lady find her balance, and then exit in a very calm, in a very smooth way. Okay, this of course is going to change slowly in time. The better that you get, the faster that you're going to be able to move, but at the same time the more gracious your movements are going to be. So if you are not familiar with this movement, try to keep it doing slow at first. The speed is going to come back slowly. Okay. You have seen that once again the footwork for this part is not that difficult. I'm going to try to add something a little bit later, but for now we're going to practice this part only. Let's do it one more time. I'm going to switch now. My line of dance goes over there, so you can have a different view of what I'm doing. Don't forget, gentlemen, and I'm going to talk about this later on when I'm doing the footwork, but I want you to make sure that whenever you're doing tango, you must try to bring your weight forward. Try to make your heels very light. So in any case, like you're about to do something and your heels are immediately off the ground. Okay, that is going to help you a lot in this exercise, because we need to learn how to know exactly the moment when we need to pivot. Once again, now I'm going to show you the moment that I'm using my core in order to do this exercise. A side step, I don't do anything different. Now here, I am using my ankles right now to switch my weight to my right foot. See, here, I'm using the muscles in my back and in my core, and then I keep doing that. I pull. Imagine that you're pulling with the muscles in your abs. I know that probably it's not what you're doing, but you're using, if you think about your midsection, that is going to help you a lot to use more your core. things that I don't want you to do, I need to show you the wrong thing and the bad thing so you can understand when is wrong. Okay, so I'm going to start the movement using my shoulders only. If I move my shoulders, see here it's very difficult just with my shoulder movement to move this leg. If I keep going with my shoulders like they are, she's going to go behind. Okay, but anyways, let's say that she's still following me and she's going to go forward. See how the whole thing changes. It feels like, I mean, like that I'm moving from the top of my body. So that makes it very awkward because what I need to lead is the lower body of my dance partner. So to connect my upper body, it's not impossible, but at this point, to connect my upper body with the lower body of my dance partner is a little bit, there's a lot of contradictions in that movement. Now, that's wrong. This is wrong too. I'm going to try to use just my feet, meaning just my lower body. Side step, forward. See how like even the sticks get a little bit confused because I don't know exactly where they're going. The movement is not using your legs or your feet. It's not about the pivot. It's about using the core. I'm going to do it one last time. This is the correct way to do. See, I switch using my ankles, especially my left ankle is pushing me and disconnecting this foot from the ground. I invite that. This is, it makes me feel a little bit like a matador because the matador always uses his torso. The way that I'm doing it is because I want her left leg to find the space here. If I don't move with my core first, she's going to take a back. That's the intuition is telling her that there's more space behind her rather than in between us. But if I invite her, creating this hollow in my tummy, she follows that. And then I keep going, taking care of where she's going. And I finish 6, 7, and 8. Okay? Before we go, I'm going to give you like a little bit to think about. Side, another side, I create space. I want you to remember her back ocho, okay? Six, 7, and 8. So now let's do the female's roll. For you ladies, is all you have to remember is the exercise that we did probably 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, to go under your elbows when you're doing this exercise, and using the ball of your feet in order to activate the pivot. Remember what I just said. You're activating the pivot by activating the ball of your feet. You're not actually doing the pivot. The pivot is something that it's led. It's a consequence of the movement of the leader, but and you have the you must have the ability to control that pivot on your own balance. However, if you're stepping in the wrong position, which I'm going to show later on, that is never going to happen. For that same reason, I want you to think about your body like almost floating, and that the only way that I feel this floating illusion is because all my joints are active. My solar plexus is going to be open all the time, and my weight is going to be forward on my feet. If you rely on your heels, you're going to be dropping all your body and all your energy behind you. Your energy needs to be in front of you most of the time, especially when you're dancing tango. So the first part, your movement. What are you doing? This is going to be my line of dance. We're going towards that direction. So the first part, it's very simple. You're going to feel side step, a back step, and all of a sudden you're going to feel the leader kind of like making a movement like this, like an L. He's going very slow, and then he brings you to the side, and all of a sudden if he moves his whole body, you're going to like most likely start pivoting. But if he just moves his core, it feels like he is creating the space. Not it feels, he is actually creating the space right in front of you to go. I mean, it's an invitation, so I want you to take that invitation. Feel how he's moving and creating this hollow, and take. We already explained this. We're going to try to go 5 steps, but don't just do them. I want you to feel the energy of the leader taking you to that step. So let's do it again. I'm going to go side, back. The leader changes my weight and disconnects my foot from the ground, my right foot from the ground, and then guides that foot to a side step, and then creates a hollow here, and I'm going to go 1. See how I'm connecting with a spot under my elbow all the time. That is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay? Once again, if you're not familiar to what we're doing, I recommend you go back a little bit in the lessons, and you're going to find great exercises that are going to make you understand this movement. If you have been taking all the lessons, you know that when you're doing a molinete is a grapevine, meaning I'm always counting forward, side, back, side, back, side, forward. That is the organization that we usually have in molinete. This is, for now, is going to be the rule, but the leader can always change that. But for now, because we're practicing into these exercises, I want you to always do side, forward, side, back, side, forward. I'm going to do it. That is the line of dance. My direction is over there. I'm going to take a side step. Side. Now here the leader is going to move. See, even if the leader is practicing this and he doesn't move you perfectly, I want you to try to brush your other foot before you take the next step. And the same when you're going to the next step. I touch and go, touch and go, touch and go, touch, go, touch, go, 6, 7, and 8. If you remember way back, probably 6 weeks ago, we were talking about how important is to make a polygon around the leader doing a molinete. So make sure if this is the leader, you are going always in straight lines. Okay? What happens, especially if your back step is not going under your elbow, you're going to end up doing a star. What do I mean by that? I'm going to use this shoe, and this shoe is going to be the leader axis. Okay? If I don't step around the leader in the spot under my my elbow, I'm going to be drawing a star on the floor. See, let's say this I'm doing kind of okay, this is also okay, but this one is making me go away of the leader, then side step, then forward, I get closer again, side, I keep that distance, back, I go away. If you notice what I am doing on the floor, I'm drawing kind of a star. That's the spike of the star. I get closer, another spike of the star. Okay, I'm doing this all the time. That is not very good, because once again, I want you to imagine that the axis, the line of the axis of the leader is going here. So every time that you're going back, you're pulling that axis. So that is making the leader fight all the time with his own balance. And don't forget, if the leader is, not only the leader is worrying about his own axis, he needs to move you in certain ways that is going to involve also your axis. So if you're threatening his axis, your axis also is in danger. At some point you can lose your balance and probably not fall, but you know, this you're going to feel like tripping like this, and we don't want to see that. The feeling in your core should always be like a wave in the middle of the ocean. You don't want to go like the line of a heart attack. Okay, you always want to go like a wave. So in order to achieve that, I am asking you to combine the information that the leader is giving you and the comfort in making sure of what you're doing with your movements. I'm actually going to use the shoe again. See, I'm going to show this in more detail when I'm showing the footwork, but I want you to remember, if I step under my elbow, say my torso is in front of the leader all the time. My hips are not. My hips are always rotating. And my feet are drawing lines. Those lines are very important because they are making me all the time go in a polygon around the leader, especially when you're going forward. If you step like this, you're killing the pivot. You're not going to be pivoting, and your heel is going to stay on the ground. So the next exercise, you're going to see, I just did a forward ocho. In order to make a back ocho, I need to pivot this. So the way that you're going to pivot in is going to be a little bit strange, to say the least. If you step in front of the other foot and you allow the pivot, you're going to understand the next step and the following a lot better than that. So remember that when you are doing this exercise. At the end of the class, I'm going to add a little bit of something, and I want you to try to help the leader in that little something and keep going with your movement. The leader is going to be doing something else, but I want you to keep flowing, keep going with that energy of the upper body of the leader. So as a reference, I want to use the sticks also to know, so for you to know where the legs of the leader are going. And leaders, very important for you. Now you know, you can compare what the followers is doing while you're leading this. This is Ginger. She's going to be the right leg of the leader, and this is Fred, is the left leg of the leader. So we start with a side step, forward for the leader. For the ladies is back, and then see, the leaders remain in that position. He's going to switch your body weight towards your left leg, and he's going to invite you to move your right leg to a side step. And from here, he's not going to be doing anything else. He's going to just make you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After that forward step that the leader was here, he doesn't move his legs. So if you focus and you're trying to mirror the opposition in his movements with the movements of your legs, you're going to get completely lost, because you're moving, he's not doing anything up until the last part. Okay? So it's not worth it to even go there. I want you to be connected in what is happening in your upper body. You don't really need to see where you're going. I want you to just play in this polygon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we finish 6, 7, and 8. This is wrong, what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to do small steps, and you're going to tell me what is happening. When I do smaller steps, I feel like, once again, I'm not pivoting, and I'm just a normal person walks like this. And the leader is probably leading with that speed in that fashion. And I feel that you're walking like this. I'm telling you about how important it is to move like a wave in the middle of the ocean. And not only for the leaders, but also for the followers. I mean, most of the time for the followers, because all the eyes, all the feeling is in your body, actually. So when you're moving, you have to make sure that you're moving in a graceful way. Don't just drag your body there, okay? So now the difference, I'm going to try to use very long steps. I'm actually going to enhance a little bit of those steps with my own skills. Side step, I feel that the molinete is going to start. That feeling of being open here and immediately flowing in like with energy, that makes me feel as a leader that you are doing your job, that you're going with me. If you just trot around me, it feels like I am dragging something, not even a person. It's like it's just, it feels like a lot of work. So I want you to navigate. Now, this is the direction, I'm sorry, this is the line of dance. My direction is behind me. See what I'm going to do. Side, 1, and I start counting. 1, 2. In this back ocho, you're going to feel something different, okay? Once again, don't look down. Flow. And at the end, I want you to try, just for now, I want you to loosen this leg and see, after the forward ocho, which would be the number, let's go, 1, 2, 3, 4. After the 5th, I want you to try to draw a circle on the ground. See, this is imagine that this is your foot. Your foot needs to do this on the floor. You can use that speed. I'm going to do it with the music. I'm going to put it a little bit louder so you can listen to what I'm doing. And I'm going to take just the molinete. So I'm going pam, 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 pam. 5, 1, 2, 3. Okay? I'm taking my time there. Even if the leader is the music that we just the music that we're using today is Rodolfo Biaggi. The music of Biaggi is active, it's exciting, it's taking me places. So even though with that music, I'm trying to be very conscious of the movement, and I'm going in a very nice and paused way. Don't rush it. That's the key. Don't rush it. Take it slow and bam, ram, bam, 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 bam. And this is for everybody, regardless of your role. Leader or follower, you have to go at first very nice and slow. Speed is going to come eventually. This explanation, I'm going to do it first for the leader and then for the ladies. This explanation is very important. The upper body lead. I'm the follower. This is the direction of dance. My direction is over there. So I'm going to feel, after the back step, you're going to feel how the leader is kind of like moving forward but holding you up. That holding you up is preventing you from stepping immediately. So hold that up, and then he's going to, see, the pillow is moving. The pillow is his torso. His torso is going to move a little bit on the side, inviting you to go there. So take that, and then you're going to feel that he creates a hollow here. And then he's going to move, something is going to move. He's not going to, if he moves his torso like this, it's kind of like inviting your leg to go, your left leg to go behind you. But you're going to feel that he's not taking you back. He's not moving his torso, but he's kind of like a vacuum cleaner. He's moving you here. So when you feel that, I want you to not use your instinct. I want you to use all your senses to read what the leader is doing. So that's when the first step of the molinete starts. 1, 2, 3, 4. In this last one, see, when the leader is moving in the molinete, this is my speed. He can do the molinete very quickly or very extremely slow. That depends on him. But the key is that after those 5 steps, he's going to come to a halt like this. I'm going to do it from the forward step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for now. Okay? So, important thing, connection, a very nice embrace. You need to be aware of what is happening here. Now, leaders, I need to understand that when I am leading this in close embrace, once again, the way that I'm asking you to use your core is because I need you to lead perfectly with your embrace, not with your arms, not with anywhere else in your bodies. So after the side and the forward step, see, the moment I'm kind of low, the moment that I push the ground and lift my heel using my ankle, see how I am probably 1.5 inches taller. This is telling her, hold it. Now, see how like I'm moving the pillow. I'm using the muscles in my core. Boom. And then I keep using the muscles in my core to switch my weight and keep going. I collect my feet, never losing the connection with my dance partner. I switch my weight to my right foot, and I walk finally left, right, and feet together. Okay? It's pretty simple. The only thing that I don't want is during the molinete, you're not doing because if that is happening, it's like when you're having a conversation and no, nobody understands, right? So it has to be constant. She needs to be listening, and you need to be telling her this is the way. Okay? Now, I want you to remember this. We're going to add at the very end this little exercise. I'm going to take side step, forward. I switch my weight to my right. I start leading. I lead her to the side step. I start leading the molinete. 1, 2, 3. In the third, I'm going to collect my feet. And then in the last 2 steps that she's doing, or 3 steps, because right now she's going in the back ocho, I'm going to do a lápiz. 1, 2, 3. See, at the end, I'm going to explain that in a little bit. I'm doing 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I start with my hip completely closed. And then look at my arm and my leg are doing exactly the same thing. 1, 2, 3. At the end, my hip is open, meaning that my knee is pointing towards that corner. If I finish with my hip closed, 1, 2, 3, I'm not going to be facing my partner, and my foot is going to be kind of like funny. I don't want you to finish, gentlemen, I don't want you to finish stepping. The only part of your foot connected to the ground is the last part of your pinky toe. You should be able to lift that foot at any time. Okay? So remember that. Once again, I want to insist, if you're not familiar with these movements, you can go back probably a 6th lesson prior to this, and you're going to find how easy is to play with that movement, which we call lápiz in Spanish, and in Tango means to draw with your leg like it would be a pencil. Okay? Now, leaders, I am going back to you. How are we going to do this? Being guided with what the lady is doing. For that, I'm going to use Fred and Ginger again. This is Fred, that is the lady's right leg. Ginger is the left. So I go to the first part of the molinete, side step, forward. I lead with my torso, a side step, and then here. I'm going to lead 1, 2. 1, 2. After the second, I must say, during the second step, I'm collecting my feet, and when she's going to the back ocho, I'm going to start doing 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to block her right foot, and then she's going to probably do something here. She's going to go over, I lead 2 back ochos, 6, 7, and 8. One more time. I am not just finishing the step here and 6, 7, 8. In order to do the lápiz, I need to make a little bit of a stop. I'm telling her, let's pause. Then she's taking time to go forward. I lead another forward ocho, and then I'm going to exit in order to make it a lot nicer. Now, I want to emphasize the part when you're here, forward, side, bum, 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 bum. When you're doing that part, I want you to connect with the way that the lady is walking. She's doing 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. If we add 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, we have those 5. And I'm dividing them in 2 sets, one of 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So you know in the 1, 2, you have to collect your feet. And in 1, 2, 3, you have to do your lápiz. This is the number 3. See? 1, 2, 3. Okay? So, side, forward, side step, and here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. She goes over your foot because you're inviting her to go forward with your chest. Another invitation to go forward again with your chest. And then you're taking her to 6, 7, and 8. This is, we call it in Spanish, it's a variation, a variación, because I am changing, I'm going with the music. Don't worry today about the music. Eventually we're going to try to show that with the music, but that's the reason why I didn't focus too much in the music. I just want you to make sure that you understand how these movements require to be done, okay? For the ladies, for now, we are not doing syncopation. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So if you practice, especially if you have a partner at home, try to do it like this. I'm going to do the whole 9 yards. Side, nothing happens. Back, nothing happens. Another side, nothing happens. Here, I have to step under my elbow. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Remember that I asked you to do a little bit of an embellishment here. So try to do that. But now you're not going to be exiting 6, 7, 8. You're going to be allowed to do something. So play with that. See, you're arriving, you're doing the embellishment first on the ground, and then you can lift your foot, go down, forward ocho, 6, 7, and 8. That part of doing the embellishment, once again, we have seen this before. It's nothing that we are just doing today. I do 1, 2, 3. I finish here. See? In order to collect my feet, I'm lifting my core. I'm going to go up, and then I'm going to go down, caressing the leg of the leader. I'm going to kick back, forward ocho, and 6, 7, and 8. Don't forget, it's not brushing your foot up and down. It's connecting with his foot, disconnecting, going up until, if you can do it, you can go up to his hip. But if not, just go to his knee and then make contact. Forward ocho. And make sure, imagine that I'm dancing with a mini skirt. If you go like this, it's not going to be very nice, right? So imagine that you have to have, not imagine, you must have your hip close to do that embellishment. So when you arrive after this, here you're closing your hip, meaning that your knee is going towards that direction. When you lift, you're good to go. Okay? And for you, gentlemen, the only thing I want you to be very, very careful with is the flow. You have to go, at first, doing things very slow. It's challenging, but I want you to go 1, 2, 3. Wait patiently. Whenever she's ready, she's going to pass over that leg of yours. Then you switch your weight to generate the next forward ocho. Then you have to switch your weight again in order to exit 6, 7, 8, 6, always with the left. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about that. I'm starting side, forward, side step. So I go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. See my position. You're never stopping completely. I want you to be aware of what your dance partner is doing, but see, while she's arriving, I'm already switching my weight to my left foot because I need this to keep going. So she plays with what I'm asking the ladies to play with, and then forward ocho, I switch my weight once again, forward ocho, 6, 7, 8. You are never like this and then lead just with your body. If your body is going this way, you switch, you switch, you switch, you switch, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to talk about a little bit more about this in the final part of the lesson. So this movement would be called a molinete on our left side with a lápiz. The new part of the molinete is that we're doing the molinete right away on our left side, just to starters. And then we're enhancing that movement with a very nice and elegant lápiz. So let's take care now of the footwork. Don't miss this part because it's probably the most important part that you have to see in order to make this happen. Okay, let's go to the footwork now. So I'm going to start by explaining the role of a gentleman. I want you to pay attention to my feet, so I should have done this before. Okay, so I take a side step and then a forward step. I know that some of you struggle a little bit when you have the lady in front of you. It is going to feel like you're tripping over your feet and her foot. Why I'm mentioning that? Because most of the time, let's say the lady is kind of like there, right? She's walking, like actually the perfect step should be like that. After the side step, you have to walk here, okay? I know that doing, see, what I'm going to do is collect and go. So that collection means that my hip needs to be closed, meaning that my knee is going to be facing the camera almost, and then go. My thighs need to be caressing each other for that. So what happens most of the time, we think that going forward is just going forward. And the first thing that happens is that we hit the foot of the ladies. So try to make sure to practice. The best way to practice this is switching my weight and then closing my hip. And trying to always step in front of my other foot. For example, if you have taken the side step, that foot, that right foot of the lady, meaning the silver right foot, you should be here, right? If I go close and walk, I'm still kind of in front of my dance partner with my torso, but my foot is going more on my left side. I know that it sounds like, oh my God, Renee, like my axis is completely twisted, but that is because you're stopping there, and I'm stopping you there in order to explain to you what is happening. But that is a transitionary, a position that requires movement. You're not going to stay there. So for that same reason, don't worry too much about your balance. That is going to happen naturally. Now, once again, we were taking the side step. This is the line of dance. My direction is going there. So side step, I step. Look how I'm switching my weight to my right foot. I'm pushing the ground with, first I am using a little bit of my core, but then I take advantage of that and I push my toes of my left foot against the ground, and that is like giving me the perfect posture here. My knees are not tight completely. The left, because I'm using that energy, is really elongated, and I feel my quadriceps holding the movement. But the right one is not tight, but it's not bent either. It's soft. And from there, I move my torso to the side step, and then I start moving around. Look at my feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. When I am not doing the lápiz, which we're going to do at the very end, I need to wait until the last moment to collect my feet. And the reason why I am asking you to do that is because I really want you to work on your core. So train yourselves to go here, and from here, try to make it last. See, I'm going to go at this speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the music. Let me, bam, 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 and here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in the part, the toughest part for me is like at the very end. We start here, 1, 2, 3. See how like this foot, I never touch the heel, the floor with my heel, and only at the end I create a very nice and agile pivot. It's like waiting all the time. See, I disconnect my heel, and at the end I finish that pivot. Okay, now don't forget that if you wanted to dance together with the music and do a little bit of a syncopation, that means to accelerate and de-accelerate sometimes, you can do these. So I'm going to take a side step forward, and I'm going to go side, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, and 8. So the last set, in this case 3, 4, 5, those are a little bit fast. It's like going slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, 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 slow. Okay? That I can also use in the molinete. I'm sorry, in the lápiz, while I'm doing the molinete. So if I do that movement with the molinete, including the lápiz to it, it would be a little bit like this. I'm going to do it in front of the camera. Side, forward, side, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Forward ocho, another forward ocho, and I finish 6, 7, 8. Okay? Now, I can do this a little bit slower, but what happens is a lot more work to do this in slow motion, because I will have to have a lot of strength in my legs and a perfect balance. See, I'm going to try to do it again. I'm going to do it in front of the camera. Side, forward, and here I start. Side step. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Even though I did it, you know, I've been doing this for almost an hour now, and my legs are really warm up, but if I keep that position in the lápiz going this slow, it burns in my muscles. So it's a lot better when I create momentum. When I create momentum, my muscles are not working, the muscles in my legs are not working that much, and I am doing a more efficient job. However, in order to understand which muscles we need to use, I want you to try to do slow, like Tai Chi. That's the best way to understand. That's the best way, at least for me. That's the way I learned to like force me which muscles are being used, so I can do this the best way. Once again, if I missed something in the explanation and you want to know more, please contact me. You can send a message through YouTube. You can send me a message through Facebook. You can email me. You know my email. You know how to contact me. Let me know. If I missed something, don't hesitate to ask me for clarification. I'm going to go like I did last week, one by one. So you understand all these things. All your questions will be answered personally. Okay? Now, for the ladies, I'm going to use this line. My direction is going that way. Don't forget, when you're about to start dancing tango, if you start dancing like this, it's not going to look very nice. Make sure that at least your heels are tight together, and weight, see, my weight is like really forward. My heels are almost disconnected from the ground. If you want to rest a little bit, you can rest your heels, but see, if you're in a dance mode, you're preparing yourself. You're kind of like racing. Remember when I race and I open my core, that's the part of it, okay, that you're ready to go. So once again, that is the direction, and I'm taking the step side, back. Here starts the lead with the torso. He invites me to go to a side step. Look the way I'm walking. My foot is not geared towards the leader. I know that this is very difficult, especially when you're dancing with a I don't know, 6-inch heel, but try to go as straight as possible and allow pivot. Side step, under your elbow, allow pivot. Under your elbow, brush the other foot, side step, brush, forward step, 6, 7, and 8. In the first part, probably, if you have a dance partner at home, the leader is not going to probably lead you to do the lápiz. So finish or do whatever he's leading. That's probably what I want to say. Once again. Okay, that movement is, to me, very simple. All you have to teach your body to do in this first set is to be extremely technical. You need to be taking care of your axis. You need to move everything slowly. Don't try to just go to the molinete, because you already know that molinete means going around the leader, okay? You are going around the leader, but you go around the leader in a very nice and paced way. There is no rush to finish the movement. Everything is taking a lot longer, okay? Now, in the case that the leader wants to do the lápiz, I'm going to take the same direction. Back, side, and here I go. 1, 2, lápiz. And then I don't notice here because you don't have to, but the leg of the leader is going to be right here, inviting you. Prior to your pivot, the leader is already preparing his pause. So you have all the time in the world to arrive here. You don't have to arrive immediately to touch his feet or his foot. That's the reason why I wanted to give you this embellishment, so you're not rushing your leg. Actually, you have to arrive in this position. See how my feet are completely far apart. If you arrive with your feet together, you're going to be doing this. There is no such posturing in tango like this. One of your legs has to be elongated. And see, from here, I'm going to lift my center in order to collect. Once again, if you have any questions about this, go back a little bit back. Probably in the lesson number 6, we were talking about these embellishments and how we manage them, okay? So we arrive In order to collect my feet, I'm going to raise my center, and then here I can keep going up, lifting my heel, caressing, and then taking the next step forward. That is going to be a forward ocho, a second forward ocho, and I can do another embellishment before I'm going to exit in the 6, 7, and 8. I'm going to do it a little bit with the music. Again, I'm going that way, and I want you to see if I'm working on the downbeats only. Boom, boom. Okay, in that last part, I only used and I only danced the downbeat. I didn't care of doing syncopation. If the syncopation happens, your body is going to move a little bit like this. Provided that the leader only did the syncopation during the molinete. Don't forget, the syncopation can happen anywhere. So all you have to do is follow. Make sure that you follow and your attention is just on that part. The embellishment. I'm going to take off my shoe so you can see what is happening with every part of my foot. So at the very end, I'm arriving 1, 2, 3. Look, the side of my toe, of my big toe, is touching the ground. I'm sorry, the foot of the leader is probably there. I'm going to lock it here. So in order to collect my feet, I'm lifting my core by stretching both legs. And then I keep going up. Close my hip, make connection with the knee of the leader or the hip of the leader, and then I'm going to just all my core, all my body is upwards, and I'm going to lower only the leg. I kick behind me, I walk forward, I walk forward again, I do the same embellishment, and then I finish 6, 7, and 8. This is a reminder. If you go back to lesson number 6, you're going to have this a little bit more explained, but I just want you to remind you, arriving like this is correct. Arriving like this is not correct. See, I lost my balance and I need to hold me up, and my heel is already on the ground. If your heel is floating, going up, going down, and finishing this exercise is going to be a lot more fun. Not so much like I say, probably this was okay 100 years ago, because tango was a little bit primitive. Only amateurs were doing tango. Now we know a little bit better. Now we have mixed tango with dance techniques. So we now know that if we hold our axes together and in a very nice line, we can do a lot more better with the other leg and create a more sophisticated, more beautiful movement. Okay? Well, this would be the lesson for today. Don't forget, we have done a molinete on our left side. This is for the leaders. Molinete and lápiz. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Once again, thank you so very much for allowing me to enter to your homes, at least during these times, in a virtual way. It's so much fun to do these lessons and to, in a way, keep all of us together. And we're going to be looking at each other through our computers right now. Join us for the virtual milonga so we can catch up, we can talk about tango, we can plan. And I have to tell you, I have a wonderful couple that is coming next week for our virtual milonga, a singer for the first time and a pianist. Both of them like top of notch of tango. They are located in Miami. I'm going to tell you a little bit more later in our meeting, so do not miss it. I want to see all of you. Thank you so very much, and I will see you in a bit.